This narration is for educational purposes only. It is not buy or sell recommendations.
Good afternoon, fellow ES traders. So the narration of the ESH5 for 12/23/24. Let's start with the candlestick chart. So here we have open here. Areas of interest would be this micro composite VBOC here, and there's another one. If we take that off from Friday, we have one at 60 as well, 59.60. So those two areas are of interest, as well as this naked VPOC up here at 60.16, 17. So overall, we potentially could see continuation up. Good chance that we'll get some stops taken out of longs in this move from Friday. So if we're looking at overall trend in a higher time frame, statistically, let's see what we got. Lower inside of yesterday's range, or Friday's range. 99% chance of overnight VPOC, which was, I think it was close to open for, oh yeah, ETH VPOC there, 60.21. So that's up. 60.21 is above where we opened. Overnight low and overnight high, which was here and here, low in ETH. So closer to the low of RTH open. Previous value area, 87% chance. Overnight low, 85% chance. And now we have an even higher statistic of taking out the low. So looking at the stats, we could potentially say short than long. So that'd be the thesis to start with, and then as it develops, we go from there. Let's get over to RTH open. 9:30. I'm in Eastern Standard Time now. So RTH open. Immediately buyers take over. And price moves up. VPOC migration. So we see buyers here. Some little pockets of liquidity that got absorbed by buyers. So the sellers are on this side. Passive, aggressive buyers buying into that passive liquidity, absorbing it, and we get a green delta bubble. So once we come here, and you can even see, I mean, that's a larger aggressive buyer bubble. As we near the top, they get smaller, which could signal exhaustion. And then especially when we see this first little pullback, break the range there, get underneath. Now if it were to continue test and then go, that's potential short, not trade recommendation, but seeing that break of a move up, and this is nothing I trade, this is way too fast, but you can apply this narration on a zoomed in fractal to something like this. So if we're looking at, this is 5-minute candles or 5-minute time periods. So let's say a long breaks here, if there is a retest back on top of where we broke from, of the highest point there, that'd be your entry. Not trade recommendation, but just to give you an idea of what to do with all this stuff when we zoom into a fractal. It's not necessarily meant to trade in this fractal, but you could zoom out on a more micro or macro and apply it to that, because that's all we have are these little structures, distributions over here on the chart volume, going to the outer edge of the low volume node to the high and just bounce around until we break range, and then we test and create maybe one down here, or just test one that's already existing and add to it. And we use that for targets and range. So if you know if we're dropping out, we're on the bottom of a range here, we know that below is only a point, so we wouldn't short here to end up with support at the 99s from the 6000s. So just observation, not anything you can really do with it, but observe and just see the participant behavior. So initially we were short then long, looking for that overnight low, the ETH, which was, where'd it go? One second, let me, yeah. That 92 here, potential short, seeing it knock on this VPOC and not being able to break out. We got that opening swing high. So we know we got stops right above there for the shorts. And there's a lot of passive sellers waiting there as the buyers meet and then reject. And then we break. And once we break the opening, this VPOC, this is going to act as support. So you keep that in mind. So that could be getting risk neutral. I mean, that's a pretty decent range from the 6s down to, where'd it go? That VPOC from opening here have support there. So I mean, even if that's your target to get risk neutral, that's pretty good. It's almost 6 points. And having a runner down to the low, that would have been a decent trade. Not trade recommendation, but if that's within your trading plan. So there's one there at the open. And like I said, I wouldn't take that. That's way too quick for me. But I'm more in the ballpark right now. Where I am in my trading journey, building this business, is to take the IB or VWAP to VPOC. Like up here, if we had VPOC migration down below, and then price comes up to test VWAP in mid, could execute a short there. So nothing for me here. Let's get over to the, still no, okay, now I have VPOC migration. So here, if we broke above and tested VWAP, that'd be perfect. Not trade recommendation, but something to observe. Tested it here, but if we got back up through and then tested again, that's something to think about. So there's that 70 microcomposite VPOC. You'd expect that's another target too, right? So if you took this to VPOC, risk neutral, hold a runner, that's your next target. This microcomposite VPOC, which is from that candlestick chart I showed you earlier. This one, 70s. Like I said, there was another one. I didn't put it in bookmap, but that was the other one there. Also, the composite. We have these high volume nodes here. So heavy trading around this area here for potential targets. Let me go ahead and put this in real quick. 60. I already get that dip, and okay. Where did that go? And let's see. So we have a 60. Okay. All right, so that'd be that, and then now we rotate back up. Now we're getting close to 1030, so I'm looking for that IB, which that's not correct. I don't know why I didn't update, but Our IB low is actually 59.65 down here. So that's not correct. But we can see, we're 1030 IB low is down. Oh yeah, I made that line earlier. So VPOC migration down. So here's that VWAP to VPOC. Would have been a nice one. Not trade recommendation, but 88s. I mean, another 10 pointer right there. 8 points. Really good trade there. So that's 2. Now we got VPOC as support, VWAP as support. Start going up. It was a good day for IB. I didn't get a chance to trade any of it. I had a bunch going on, but that was there was an IB low for not even a failure because it didn't come back and test it. Had it gone down to the IB to test. But being so close, either way, what we're looking at is fuel, which is the stops, right? So we have a move down. We have multiple shorts in that leg. Once we start to move back up, all those stops are getting taken out. So not only do you have, your buy stops going off, you have aggressive buyers too, which that's buy stops are aggressive, but in the delta bubble, you have market orders going in as well for continuation. So now we have IB here. So we made it to the IB. This is correct, I think. It's 60, 08. It's actually up here. Why did that? 83. IB high. Trying to find it on this other chart. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So we have 08, so this is the IB high. So potential breakthrough test. We did break through, so if you were aggressive on it, depends on your stop, which for me it would be about 2 points out. So that might have taken a stop on that one. I didn't trade it, but double check on this chart why we don't have. Yeah, it does have it as 05. And that has it as 08. Oh, because it was the high. So that's the IB high. Great trade there too. Okay. So that was the IB high trade. Or IBC, initial balance high continuation. And once we get in this, you have a naked VPOC there at 17. So 12 points. That's a great range. Not trade recommendation, but that would have been a good one. And if that's your target, you have one above that as well as that is for later. Yeah, and then that's pretty far up there, but depends. You definitely get risk neutral and then hold a runner that gets taken out, and that's okay. And if we get taken out, then we're looking for the next setup, which for me, I'm not taking anything, but for more advanced, I mean, I understand the process, but it's all location, and just where I am right now is not good risk to reward for me to take these kind of, when you zoom into the smaller microstructure ranges, you can do well. You just have to know when to do it, and I don't know that yet. So, and I think we keep going even right now. 10, 25 minutes to close, but we're ripping way past the high of the ETH, which that was a big target too. Is that the high of the ETH? Which was, let's see, where did it go? 33s. There it is, high ETH. So if you got taken out earlier from the IB, you could enter again, with that being your target. And and look at that, right to the ETH. Perfect. Touches it and rejects. Now, if you counter trend trade too, I mean, this is, you see weakness. We have our range here, which get a little triangle box. So we have the high there, and there's the bottom of the range. Actually, let's see. I did this. Drag this over a little bit. There we go. So now we have break and range or balance, retest. So potential short, not trade recommendation, but these are the things to look at for a counter trend trade. And then back to VPOC ETH. I think this is the current POC, yeah. Which this is 21, yeah. So that's it for me. It was a hindsight good day looking back. I didn't trade, but definitely a lot of opportunities as long as you come in with a trade plan and you're ready at market open. Then there's a lot you can do. So, all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.